Guys, Aaron Gordon just got traded to the Denver Nuggets. Again, the NBA trade season is in full swing here, and I've got to believe this trade could be a huge difference maker for the playoffs this season and for the Denver Nuggets' future going forward. So make sure to stick around for this whole thing because, guys, the NBA is heating up and things are getting crazy. With that in mind, what's up, guys? Mike here. Hope you're having an awesome day. And if you guys haven't watched the video in a second, I'm doing two big giveaways. The first is that as soon as we hit 1.7 million subscribers, I'm giving away a PS5 or an Xbox Series X to one of you guys. So make sure you subscribe and turn post notifications on to be entered into that giveaway. The second, and again, all you have to do to enter this is subscribe as well. Make sure you turn post notifications on, is that I'm doing a bonus giveaway every single video. To one subscriber, I'm going to give away a basketball jersey of your choice. And guys, the winner of the jersey from my last video is on the screen right now. All you have to do to get your jersey is hit me up at Mike Korz on Twitter, and I'll make sure to get you your jersey. For now, let's continue on with the video. Now, in this video, we are going to be talking Denver Nuggets, and then, of course, we are going to talk about the Orlando Magic and what this means for them. So let's start out with the Denver Nuggets here, and when we look at the Western Conference standings as they stand right now, the Denver Nuggets are 26-18. That is not exactly where they want to be. The Nuggets, of course, needed to add some talent. When we take a look at the current Western Conference standings, the Denver Nuggets are only currently sitting in 5th place at 26-18. That is simply not good enough, especially when you consider that right now the Utah Jazz are on fire. The Lakers, of course, are extremely talented. The 76ers are talented. The Bucks are talented. And the Brooklyn Nets might be overpowered. They might be so talented that no one can touch them. That is a potential video for another day. But when it comes to the Denver Nuggets, they needed to make a move. They currently have the overwhelming favorite for the MVP this year in Nikola Jokic. And as we saw last season, they also have a good enough roster to be a legitimate championship contender. Last year, the Nuggets knocked off the Clippers in 7 games in the Western Conference semifinals, and then they did end up losing to the Lakers in 5 games, but they proved to the world that they have what it takes to reach the NBA Finals. They might have what it takes to go all the way and win a championship, especially when you consider that, again, Nikola Jokic is not only playing at an MVP level, he is right now the undisputed MVP of the NBA. The man is averaging 27 points, 11.3 rebounds, 8.5 assists per game. He has been absolutely unreal, and when you combine the fact that Jamal Murray is averaging his 21 points and 4.8 assists, and that Michael Porter Jr. has continued to emerge with 16 points per game of his own, the Denver Nuggets have established themselves as a very solid team. It appears what they are missing, though, is that Jeremy Grant factor. Because if you remember, last season, Jeremy Grant was a huge part of the Denver Nuggets team that reached the Western Conference Finals. And yes, while with the Pistons, Jeremy Grant has emerged as a 20-plus point per game scorer, with the Nuggets, the name of his game was versatility. I actually have a huge announcement to make. I am starting a podcast. Yes, it's finally happening. And with that podcast, I am teaming up with Flight Mike and Get Like Coop, and our podcast is named Laced Up. I'm going to link my podcast in the description. Make sure to go subscribe. We are going to be posting our first episode next week, probably on Tuesday. And as an added bonus, if you subscribe to the podcast right now and turn post notifications on, which means make sure you hit that bell, we are going to give one person who is subscribed and has post notifications on a PS5 or Xbox Series X. Plus, of course, you guys get to be there from the beginning. We are going to be grinding on this podcast, so make sure you go subscribe. Grant was able to play several different positions on offense. He was able to guard several different positions on defense. He was a great role player for Denver, and his contributions have been missed. Now, though, in acquiring Aaron Gordon, the Denver Nuggets are adding a player that is going to fit in perfectly with their roster and just maybe could be the X factor when it comes to the playoffs. Now, I have to say, when it comes to this year's NBA trade deadline, Aaron Gordon might just be the most intriguing player that got traded today. Now, I say that because several people, scouts, analysts, YouTubers like me, believe that the Orlando Magic have not exactly used Aaron Gordon in the right way. Many people believe that when it comes down to it, Aaron Gordon simply has not been put in the right position to succeed as an NBA player. I make this point because we have to remember, guys, a lot of a young NBA player's success comes down to the team that drafted them. When a young player enters the NBA, they have no control where they're able to go. Basically, if a team is willing to match any offer for that player when it comes to restricted free agency, that player is stuck in a place like Orlando for 7 seasons. And in Orlando, Aaron Gordon has never had one thing, and that is consistency. During his time in Orlando, the Magic have had several new coaches. They've had several new players. They've had tons of different offensive systems. We've seen Aaron Gordon play the 3. We've seen him play the 4. What we've never seen is him consistently play in the same spot. We have never seen him get the chance to adjust to a certain role and then succeed. And with this trade, I think joining the right team is really going to make all the difference here. Now, when we look at Aaron Gordon's base numbers, the one thing that jumps out to me is that at first glance, it would appear that Aaron Gordon has not really improved in the last 4 seasons. In fact, as a 22-year-old, he averaged 17.6 points per game and around 8 rebounds per game. It was at that time that some people believed he was about to make a potential all-star level jump, but as we know now, that did not happen, which is fine. Not every player has to be an all-star. With this trade, Aaron Gordon is going to slide in a role where he is going to be able to be a very solid role player for a team that hopes to be a championship contender. And speaking of stats here, I do want to point out 2 things that I believe are very important when it comes to Aaron Gordon this season. The first is that for the first time in his career, Aaron Gordon is actually consistently knocking down threes. Now, this is actually kind of a bad time to be talking about Aaron Gordon's 3-point shooting because just 2 games ago, he was shooting like 40% from 3, and now he's shooting around 38% from 3. Just a small difference, but shooting 40% from 3, of course, sounds a lot better in my opinion, and Aaron Gordon in the last 2 games has shot 1 for 10 from 3. But regardless of that, Aaron Gordon has certainly improved his 3-point shooting, and he has improved his passing. He is averaging a career high 4.2 assists per game. He is at the age of 25 playing a better all-around game than he's ever played before. That is very important because now playing for a team that wants to win a championship, Aaron Gordon is going to suddenly get way more wide open threes than he's ever seen before. And really, when it comes to a contender, that is exactly what Aaron Gordon is going to bring. He's going to bring versatility. Of course, as we all know, he is ultra athletic, and with those wide open threes, I would expect his 3-point percentage to go up from where it currently is. I also think Aaron Gordon's value lies heavily in the fact that he's able to play multiple positions. If you need him to play the 3, he can do that. I think he's more effective though at the 4 and the 5. Yes, many scouts, many teams believe that Aaron Gordon can fit in as a small ball 5 in the mold of a Draymond Green. Now, of course, Aaron Gordon is not Draymond Green. Draymond is the self-proclaimed best defensive player of all time, which is a crazy statement, but Draymond is one of the best defensive players in recent memory. And Aaron Gordon is not at that level, but he is able to guard big men. He is able to guard guards. Again, he gives your team a versatility that they did not previously have. I'd also like to point out that because we've heard interest from so many teams on Aaron Gordon, we have to imagine that teams are seeing something here. We have to imagine that teams think that he is just playing in a role that does not suit him, and that they do think that he is going to be a high-level role player playing for a championship level team. Now, as for the Orlando Magic in this situation, again, I think what the Magic are doing is simply just what they have to do. They've already traded Vucevic, they've already traded Fournier. It is clear the Orlando Magic are rebuilding here, which means, to put it simply, there is no room for Aaron Gordon on their roster. And because Aaron Gordon's contract expires next season, this season is the perfect time to trade him. The Magic are completely committed to a rebuild here. They clearly want to lose more games to cement a top spot in this year's draft. And when you look at names like Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, Jalen Suggs, Jalen Green, Jonathan Kuminga, you find a lot of players that teams are very, very high on, which means when you combine what Orlando got with the Bulls, Wendell Carter, and some first-round picks, the Magic are, of course, going into complete nuclear levels of rebuilding here, but that is definitely the right move. This year, it certainly seems Orlando is going to get a great draft pick. They're going to get a great young prospect that they could potentially build their franchise around, and then next season, they're still going to be horrible, which means they're still going to be at the top of the draft there, and then in the 2022 draft, of course, they are going to be hoping that they can add a second elite level young talent to add with their 2021 pick. With that said, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and let's go, baby! I'm hyped. Please remember, I have a new podcast with Flight Mike and Get Like Coop. It's called Laced Up. Go subscribe right now and turn post notifications on for a chance to win a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. One of you guys is gonna win very, very soon. I can't wait to see who wins, and speaking of winning, subscribe so that you could be entered into both giveaways I'm doing. Again, once we hit 1.7 million subscribers, I'm giving away a PS5 or an Xbox Series X. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed, and also make sure you turn post notifications on. Every single video in the month of March, I'm giving away a basketball jersey of your choice. Again, for that, all you have to do is be subscribed, so make sure to subscribe so that you could potentially win one of 2 giveaways. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, guys, and cue that music. If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it. And other than that, have a great day and peace.